Hi, this is Lee Edwards with NotInClass.com. We have with us today some prestigious alumni. And you gentlemen are?
My name is William Arnold.
My name is Reggie Jenkins.
And can you tell us about your previous experiences at UT and what you reflect on now that you graduated?
Okay. Well, I got to the university roughly 20 years ago in 1990. I was a freshman coming from Memphis, Tennessee. At the time, there was a lot of collegiality, for lack of a better term. I mean, people hung out in the dorms, in the lobbies. We played cards together. We knew each other. No matter what city you were from. I guess then there may have been roughly a little less than 1,000 African Americans, that being graduate and also undergraduate. So it was important to do simple things like just speak when you saw another person who was African American. Even if you didn't know their name, you know something about them, or you really smile at another person, because it was those types of things that made you feel like you weren't alone, or you weren't lost in this big sea of orange and white. And that was just a real important thing to me, was having that sense of family, and even extended family with the folks who were here on campus.
Yeah, I concur with Mr. Arnold. That was a sense of community. That was a sense of brotherhood, sisterhood. My experience is I got here in '86. And when I got here, of course, I'm from Memphis, Tennessee. I knew maybe one or two people here. They went to my high school, but everybody else I really didn't know. So this, just like any freshman coming to a university, this is a new world to you. It's something, and it can be kind of frightening, it can be kind of scary. But what breaks the ice and help you ease were the older students who was here, who knew their way around, who came and befriended me. And I remember my first few days, of course you got to register. They had like this block party, and at the block party, a lot of folks was in, but everybody was talking with each other, having a good time, that kind of thing, and we got to know each other. I stayed in Hess Hall. That was the hangout. Some other stuff was the hangout, but it was more of a communal type spirit. No matter what you do, who you were, we understood the fact that we are the numerical minority in this campus. We are a small group, and we understood it was an unwritten code that we got to protect each other's back. We got to watch each other's back. We got to, be polite and do the little things to coexist and make it in the university.
I see. So have you feel that since you graduated that has changed?
Oh, tremendously. I stayed in Knoxville. I've been in Knoxville ever since I graduated. I work at Coca-Cola, and I work with kids, I have a youth program as well, but I also do a lot of speaking engagement, particularly at the University Black Youth Conference and other things. So I try to keep a gauge of what's going on, particularly with our people. And that's changed tremendously. I can walk down the street. Even when I'm working, I have to come on campus sometimes to service some of the places. I can just look straight in the eye walking down the street, looking at these young people, black people. They wouldn't look my way, or this kind of stuff. Or I'll give you another example. It's real. It stuck in my mind. Last spring, I was working on campus with Coke, and I walked by Hess Hall, and I saw a group of brothers hanging out in front of Hess Hall, and they was using all kind of explicatives, smoking a Black and Miles, and I'm sitting there like, you on a college campus, and you portraying yourself to be thug-like or some kind of image gangster, and you sitting there, N-word this, nigga that, this, that, and all that, and I'm sitting there like everybody's walking by, and it's just rather like, wow, if I did that, and I've done some stupid stuff in my time, my coattail got pulled though. They were like, hold up, this is where you are, this is why you here, and more than one person would have pulled my chain, but unfortunately I didn't see anybody, and like I said, I'm an older cat and I don't have a lot of relationship with a lot of these younger people. I was hesitant to say something to this guy because there was like 3 or 4 of them, and I could have said something, but I have to tread lightly, whatever. But that kind of stuck in my mind as far as the change in this, this college atmosphere.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's interesting to hear Reg say that, because as he said, he's 4 years older than I am, and I can remember Reg being one of those people in terms of, hey, young brother, let me talk to you for a minute. Let me tell you what not to do and perhaps what to do. But the whole idea was that even if you may have thought he was preaching to you, you still took it with the spirit of, he's not telling me anything wrong, and it wasn't about bucking up. It was about accepting it. You understood that it was constructive and not destructive, and you move on. But nowadays, it's really scary because there's this whole new element with young brothers where you can't, they don't allow you to mentor them. It's like there's so much anger that when you try and correct a person, or you say, hey, maybe you should try this, you're not my daddy. And it's like, brother, I'm not trying to be your dad. I'm just saying, look, been there, done that, wrote a couple of books about it. You might need to read one. If nothing else, read the foreword or the preamble, because you're going to learn something that you don't know now. One of the things that I recall so vividly when I was here as a freshman was a young lady who actually worked at the Black Cultural Center at the time was hit by a car on the strip. And on the front page of the Beacon, they showed a person removing her shirt. And she was described in that article as a black. A black was hit by a car on the strip, Cumberland. And I remember the students marching, the African American students marching and having a silent protest march against the Beacon and calling for the resignation of the editor, of the writer. And so, I think about how we all came together. I didn't know. I knew her. I don't even remember her name.
I knew she was a friend of mine.
Right, but I remember just seeing her, knowing this sister got hurt, and as a freshman, I felt compelled that I needed to be there. I needed to be marching with these folks because this was important. And so it makes me question. Not that I know anything about what's going on campus now. If that were to happen in the next 5 minutes, how many of our brothers and sisters right here today would say, "Hey, we need to come together. We need to address this because this person." This sister, this UT student, this daughter, this whatever you want to call her, is being dehumanized in our school paper. And that's unacceptable. So, when I talk about that whole sense of community, it's more than just sitting down, telling jokes, playing cards. It's about taking care of each other.
Yeah.
I got your back, you got my back, and there's no question about it. It doesn't mean about in a fight, as in a fist fight, but in times of good and also in times of distress. And so I just wonder, is it still like that? Is there still that sense of community?
I've heard about that same situation in my photojournalism class. They actually had the pictures, and we actually saw the pictures in class of that situation. I saw where it said black. And that definitely stood out to me. And I was only African American in the class, and everyone was just like, "Oh, okay." I was like, "Really?" That said a lot about the community, and basically what happened with 1990.
That was 1990.
Spring '91.
Wow.
It happened.
Yeah, sure.
It definitely happened soon.